Okay, so welcome everybody to another episode of The Reluctant Leader. So obviously I am the Reluctant Leader. I'm Gajinda Bogle, the Reluctant Leader, and I am joined today by special guest Helen Williams, who we are gonna really find out more about the reasons why you started your business. And I am so excited to hear more. So Helen, would you mind introducing yourself to us and letting us know a little bit about what you do and what your business is?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you.
So I'm a business coach. That's a very broad term. So I'll go into exactly what that looks like. So I help specifically female entrepreneurs who are already in a job or a career that they've either outgrown or got bored of, or for some reason they want to do something more with their lives. So I help them specifically to set up as an online coach on whichever social media platform they choose to start with. And I have a specific 3-month window of a program that I work on. So we get them set up within month 1, and then months 2 and 3, we get clients coming in so that they organically run on their own after that. So it's very kind of niche and specific that I work with.
Wow, yeah, it is. And it feels like it's got real results, like really quickly, which is really amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. So, Helen, one of the things that makes me a reluctant leader is I never wanted to own my own business. I never wanted to own my own business. I never wanted to be a business owner. I was quite happy being in my corporate world. But once I started to have children, the corporate world just wasn't suiting or meeting my needs as a mother. And the hours were just impossible to work around. And I found the only option I had was to do my own thing. So be my own boss where I could work my own hours. And there was a little bit of a resistance there because I never wanted to have a business, but hey ho, that's where my life ended up going. So I'd really love to learn about what made you start your business. What made you do this?
Yeah, that's interesting because it's probably almost completely opposite from you. So I'm sort of the opposite of the reluctant, because I've always wanted to have my own business, like always from a child. I didn't know what I wanted to do. That's been an overriding kind of theme in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know that I wanted to work for myself and just kind of have that. I think just having that independence. I'm like fiercely independent, so running my own business kind of goes really sort of naturally hand in hand with that. So I didn't know what it was going to be, but I've always just tried different things. Even like as a teenager, I would like make up gift baskets and sell them to my friends.
Oh, I love that.
Just like anything I could think of. I used to make like hot chocolate powder and I don't know, sell that to people. I always wanted to make money. I've just had this thing in me like forever, just a natural thing that I just want to make money and and help people, give a service or a product and get money in return for that, and just have that kind of interaction of that trade. So so I've always had that in me, but it's taken a long time to kind of get to it and really work out what it is I'm good at and what I can naturally do without having to force anything, which I think we're probably all sort of figured out. You're not going to succeed if it doesn't come naturally to you, or if you're sort of showing up as somebody else. It's all about kind of finding your place and what really naturally works. So that's the bit that's taken the time, but yeah, running my own business has been something I've always wanted to do.
I love that. And I can really hear that passion in your voice. And sometimes I feel that you can hear the resistance in my voice. I can really hear that passion. So what was, Helen, that pivotal moment that made you think this is it? This is the one?
I think it was the stress of my corporate job. So I kind of felt I left school early because I was entrepreneurial. I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want to study anymore. It just wasn't my path. So I wanted to get out working. I'd done some work experience and when I was probably like 16 at school, and I just thought this is what I want to be doing. I've been working as a waitress every weekend since I was 13, so I'd got all this money in, because I think I was getting like £2.50 an hour. This is how old I am.
Showing our age, aren't we?
I know, but at the time, you know, it was like 4 hours, it's £10, it's great. And living at home, obviously I was only 13, so, you know, I built up a lot of money very quickly. And at that age, when nobody, you know, as I got a bit older, sort of 16, 17, none of my friends had money, and I was the one with money. And I loved that, you know. I was kind of like, who wants to go on holiday, who wants to go to London for the day, you know? And they were like, oh, haven't had my pocket money yet. I was like, what? You know, it's just, so I think once you start earning your own money as well, that really just gives you this like huge motivation for just keeping on doing it on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. It just changes the game, doesn't it? Absolutely changes the game. And how long have you now been in business?
In this particular role, so I was a project manager in corporate, and I kind of worked my way up. Never really very happy doing it, but yeah, I got to the point where the stress of like the corporate career just like got the better of me. It's like I'm a single parent, and you know that's hard enough on its own. And he's now a teenager. That's like a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I just thought it's just enough. It's just too much. All the like pull on you from the corporate world. I just thought I'm just doing this for the money. It's not enjoyable in any shape or form, and it's like a million miles away from what I want to be doing. So yeah, so it's like 18 months that I've been sort of going it alone, like purely, you know, on this that actually works. As I said, I've done lots of, you know, what you might call side hustles along the way, but this is the one that I feel is my thing, and that's
It's your
not
thing. You're
doesn't
here
feel
now.
not like hard work. It's enjoyable. I love it. It's, you know, I think, you know, don't you, when it fits into place, you know, you're doing the right
No,
thing.
it's a feeling, right? It's that feeling.
Yeah,
Like, this is the
yeah,
one. I'm home. This is it.
yeah.
Amazing. And how has your journey been over the last 18 months?
Oh, it's yeah. Interesting. It's not, I mean, it hasn't been as easy as perhaps I thought it would be. I kind of thought, right, I'm gonna, you know, I've got all this experience from corporate, you know, I can translate that into doing my own thing. I've got all the passion, you know, I worked with some coaches. You know, I invested heavily in being coached. But there wasn't that, you know, it wasn't like I think I expected there to be a kind of like a light switch, you know, someone would just press something and then it would be like, oh, okay, it's all working now. You know, I've got all the money coming in, it's all falling into place. But it hasn't. It's taken its time, kind of incrementally. And probably, you know, I am a believer in timing and things happening for a reason at the right time, because I've really, with this kind of the offer that I've got really like big success with my clients now, it's taken that time to get to that. It wasn't just like I didn't just have the idea and then it just happened. It took sort of working with different clients and really understanding what people wanted and what worked. You know, it's one of those things that's kind of organically grown, which again is another big signal to me that it's the right thing that I'm doing, because it was not just like, right, I'm gonna sell this to people, I'm gonna go and get some clients, they're gonna love it. You know, it's not my agenda. It's yeah, it's kind of, I've just been listening to, you know, looking at obviously social media insights and looking at what people want from me, you know, and what the feedback I get is. So it's really come about in a really nice organic way.
I love that. And I guess you have to naturally allow your business to evolve, right? Because it's a
Yeah,
bit of a two-way street as well, where you come with a proposition, but then you also listen to what your clients want and need as well. And you kind of marry the two up together and let it naturally evolve as it does.
absolutely. Yeah, that's why I've got it sort of down to this niche now, because I think before, when I started, one of the sort of big sort of learnings for me was thinking that I could help everybody. You know, I was kind
Mm.
of like, oh, it doesn't, you know, I can work with men, I can work with women, I can, you know, whatever problems they've got, I'll be able to help, you know.
Everyone needs my services.
Yeah, I'm so good that who wouldn't want to work with me? I had no mindset problems. I was just like, yeah, I can help them all. But then obviously when in your communication and the way you're speaking, you're not, you know, people are looking at it going, oh yeah, that looks good, that's interesting, you know, but it's not
It's not
talking.
landing, is it? It's not
No,
landing. We
it's,
have
you
this
can't talk
term in
personally.
marketing that when you talk to everyone, you actually talk to no one.
Oh yeah, well that's so true, isn't it? That sums it up beautifully. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And how has your life changed in the last 18 months compared to when you were in corporate?
Oh wow, massively. I mean, it's just my life now is, it's so like relaxed. It's like I said, I don't feel like I'm working. I mean, because when I'm actually doing the coaching, which is my best bit, obviously there's a lot, you have to wear all the hats. So, you know, I do everything. But when I'm actually doing coaching, we actually have one-to-one clients and actually get into that, you know, that for me is as easy as chatting to my best friend. You know, it's amazing. I love it. So I plan that. I don't, like, I would never in corporate, I used to have like 8 a.m. calls, you know, like regularly. I plan my day, I plan my months and my years around what I want to be doing. And that's the big difference, I think, not being a slave to the, you know, right, got to have a call at 8 o'clock, got to have another one. You know, I would never plan 2 calls in back to back, for example, because sometimes naturally you overrun or someone's on a roll and you don't want to interrupt them, that kind of thing. So it's much more. So sorry, my dog's playing with a toy. It's squeaking.
Do you know what? I thought it's either a pet or a child.
Yeah, it's a pet. So it's the scheduling really. It's life like literally on my terms. You know, I can just plan my clients around the hours I want to work, and I would never take on, like, I only work with 5 one-to-one clients at a time because I want to give them, like, the, you know, if they want me outside of our kind of scheduled hours, I want to be available for them. It's a real, you know, it's a high touch program because it's 12 weeks. So there's a lot.
Quite intense.
To do.
Yeah, lots to do.
Yeah, it is. But it's for the people that are the action taker, like me. The people I work with, people like me, people that are, you know, really, okay, I want this. I want to know how to make it happen quickly. I want to get there. You know, we can't waste time. Let's crack on. You know, so it is condensed into, you know, a short period of time for that reason.
I love that. I love it. And also, you touched on something there where, and it just reminded me, like, I used to hate Mondays and I used to hate the feelings of Monday, like that Sunday night dread
Oh
to
yeah.
go back to work on a Monday. So when I started my own business, I gave myself Mondays off. So Mondays aren't even available in my calendar. So no one can book a meeting, nothing. So I almost have that overspill of, if I've had a crazy weekend, I've still got that one day back to myself. So is there anything that you hated in corporate that you just don't do now in your business?
I think it's I don't put myself under those pressurized things that are going to cause me stress. So let me think of one. I guess it's committing. I think my main stress point in my career was committing, or sort of being forced into committing to a deadline that was unachievable. And it used to really, really stress me out because I would hear myself going, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll get that huge project plan over to you by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then hanging up and thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
I'm going to be up all night trying to do this. And I remember that as well. I used to get emails at like 8 o'clock on a Friday night for something that was required Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And I'd be like, you're obviously expecting me to work this weekend then.
Wow.
And you're just like, you know, that was something that I was really glad to see the back of.
Yeah.
And talking about hats, so you said you wear lots and lots of hats in your business, and I know what these kind of hats are, but I would really love it for you to tell the general public out there exactly what kind of hats you have to wear in your current business.
Yeah, so social media, I mean, I would have said I get most of my clients from social media, but actually, recently I've been getting them face to face because I go to a kind of gym, like members club thing, and it's got like a work area there, and it's got a gym and a spa and things. And it's
Sounds
crazy.
ideal.
It's really lovely because you just strike up those conversations. People say, what do you do? That's like one of the first questions you say when you meet someone in that kind of environment. It's just like, oh, what do you do for a living? You know, why are you in the spa at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning?
Why do you work?
So I just had a meeting there this morning with a lady who wants to become a coach, because I spoke to her and she's been thinking about it. So we've just sat down and had a talk this morning. So yeah, I would have said, like, my clients come from social media because that's one of the things I had been spending a lot of time on. That's, you know, we talk about sort of, but not mistakes necessarily, because I think, you know, everything sort of leads you somewhere. I like to reframe mistakes into kind of learnings, but yeah, social media being visible, you know, because even if I am doing more of the sort of face-to-face networking now, it's still people, I mean, I have a website, but I don't, it's not as up to date as my Instagram. My Instagram really is where I focus my efforts on in terms of my sort of shop front. So so there's that, but I'm really creative, so I actually love Instagram. I love doing reels, and I love carousels on Canva. You know, I love that kind of outlet. So
What is
that's
your Instagram while we're on that subject, so people can go and check out your creativity?
thank you. It's Hey Helen Williams. So hey as in hey, and then my name.
Love it.
I really spelled it
That's going to be so
HAY the other
easy to
day.
remember.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so so all the social media stuff, but as I said, the networking, so getting out face to face, I was a little bit scared of doing that to start with, and that's taken some time to, when people say what do you do, kind of not just panicking. And I think that's another thing where I've really honed down on exactly this, like, one thing that I'm really good at doing. It's so much easier now when people ask me what I do. I don't just sort of go, I'm a business coach and I help people with, you know, imposter syndrome and overwhelm, and I start listing off all these. Now I'm just like, yep, I know what I do, I know, and then people know whether you can help them or not, you know, rather than if it's so vague, then they're like, oh yeah, I get overwhelmed sometimes, oh yeah, I've suffered from imposter syndrome, you know, it's just too vague, isn't it? The more direct you are,
Oh,
like,
that's nice. That's nice.
yeah, that's nice, that sounds
That's
interesting.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so brilliant. And I guess, you know, out of all of those things that you've mentioned, because I actually remember when I started my business, and I remember the first day when I sat at my desk, I was like, I've got 0 emails, my phone isn't ringing, and I'm like, I'm clueless as to what to do. Like, yes, I'm great at marketing, but if I haven't got a client, I've got nothing to do. So what do you feel you have found the most challenging in your business journey so far?
It was the days when before I joined the club that I go to, it was the days when I would sit in my house, where, because I used to, like, towards the end of my career, I was working from home, obviously with the end of the pandemic and everything, everyone moved out of the office to home. So I was used to working at home doing Zoom calls all day. So I was still kind of sitting at my desk, but, you know, without my work laptop, with my own laptop. And yeah, it's that whole thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, I haven't got an 8 o'clock call this morning. Okay, what do I do now? And I think it's being really disciplined with your time was the hardest thing. And then sometimes just thinking, oh, just here on my own with my dog, you know, my son's at school, it's just me and the laptop. And that's really hard to keep momentum, keep motivation. But I do find now I go to a shared work area just for like half a day, you know, maybe sort of 3 or 4 times a week, depending on client work. And it's so much better just to see people. It kind of just keeps you motivated, seeing other people working, sort of catching snippets of their conversations, people, as I said, like asking what you do. You get more experience of talking about what you do, and finding out what questions people want to know as well, because that all helps then with my marketing and my social media. You know, what did they ask, what were they interested in, what was the bit that they weren't clear on, you know, that all forms like my sort of next bit of content.
100%. And I guess, you know, when you are in corporate, you've got your colleagues around you that kind of help lift your vibration. And the fact that you've got deadlines keeps you motivated in kind of doing your work. So you did mention self-motivation. So is there anything that you do to self-motivate yourself?
Yeah, I do a lot of like rituals, which you know, these kind of things which doesn't always, I think, from the corporate world, people tend to think it's like, you know, particularly I was in insurance and mainly insurance most of my career, so it's quite sort of male dominated, male energy. And then when you switch into coaching, there's a lot more on the sort of spiritual side of the feminine energy. So with rituals, and the mindset is like, so, well, you'll know this, you know, it's so crucial in business. So there's a lot of things that I do. So I do a lot of kind of like shaking bad energy out, you know, these kind of things which may seem crazy. I mean, I would not go as far as doing it on camera to motivate anyone else.
Or out in public.
Yeah, not out in public. But those kind of things, just moving your body, you know, putting on some upbeat music, having a sing, you know, just those kind of things. If you are just sitting and starting to feel your energy kind of dip, because I don't drink coffee because I can't handle coffee. I've
Yeah,
tried,
same
and
with
it like
me.
just like drives. Yeah, I'm just I can't. I can have a coffee in the morning, even like a mocha, and I can't sleep properly in the nighttime. That's how
Wow, that's how long it
much
lasts.
of an effect. I'm just obviously a lightweight with coffee, so I have to not drink coffee. But I feel I do need something to keep my energy levels up. So those kind of practices, I did go through a phase actually. I had like a timer on my phone every hour just to remind me to do something like that, just to pick, oh, I've got a dog, so I walk him daily anyway, so it's kind of like, or just even just stroking the dog, just something that makes you
Yeah.
feel
It
happy.
lifts you up a little bit.
Just connect back in with yourself. Yeah.
I love that. I love that tip of setting an alarm for every hour. That's a
Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant reminder. Or obviously get a dog, but
Yeah. Or get
we're
a
not in
dog
that position.
together.
Set the alarms. Amazing. And what have been some of your highlights over the last 18 months, or whenever because I know you've run business for quite a while. So what have actually been your highlights being in your entrepreneurial journey?
Highlights are definitely like the client work, when I get like results with clients. So when they just come to me and they so there's one client at the moment, she has sort of been trying to get this business off the ground for a while. She's not actually a coach. She came to me with a separate business idea. But yeah, so when she started getting like leads in now, which she hadn't had previously. And she's like, I'm still working, we've only been sort of working together maybe 4 or 5 weeks, so we've still got more to do on the mindset. But she had so many kind of barriers holding her back, which kind of seemed obvious to me, and she couldn't really see them. So just seeing those shifts in her, and her saying, I mean, it's not about the gratitude, people say thank you to you, but you feel it in their voices when they do actually really appreciate how you've worked together, how that's actually changed them. So it's seeing those results come to fruition, and seeing the person you're working with, your client, get those results, and how it's changed them, and how that has an impact not just on their business but on them as a person. And then it has knock-on effects to their relationships with their partner, their family. It's everything. So when I work with somebody on their business, it affects everything. And just seeing that impact that it's had, they're the highs. That's what I do it for. That's the thing, seeing those results actually start, and they start to happen really quickly. It's not like it's not, it could be after one session, just asking the right questions, and giving them that opportunity to look inside themselves and draw those answers out, because they are all inside. We all have our own answers inside of us. It just takes those right conversations and those right opportunities for them to come out. So it's such a privilege being able to work with somebody in that capacity where you can do that for them. So that's my high. It's like hands down. I love that.
Do you know what? It's so heartwarming. It's really, really lovely. And I guess when you look at these kind of results compared to maybe the results you got in corporate, you probably find yourself more fulfilled doing what you're doing now compared to what you were
Absolutely.
doing.
Yeah. I mean, I can't compare it really to corporate. It just, I can't compare it.
Yeah,
It's just a whole
different, isn't it?
another level. I don't think you could really ever get that out of a corporate role. You might enjoy your job, you might enjoy aspects of it. And I always say to someone that's not happy in their job, try and find the aspects of it that you are happy with and focus on those, because sometimes the bad does fall away if you really focus on the positive aspects of something. But that, like you said, that sort of heartwarming, you don't really get that from anything else. For actually coaching somebody and seeing the transformation that you've sort of helped them with, that's everything.
That is, isn't it? That's purpose for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess with corporate, you don't really get to see the end results and the end clients that are using maybe the products and services that your company helps with. So it's a bit more rewarding when you see the direct results of
Yeah,
what
that's
you're
right. You're
doing.
closer to it, aren't you? So yeah, you do. That's right. You get to see it sort of start to finish, and along the way as well. So yeah.
Amazing. And do you have any advice you would give anybody? So if somebody is in corporate right now, or if anyone is thinking of starting a business, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would definitely say to follow your instinct. If you've been thinking about doing it, you know, the minute you think about something, you've already, you know, the sort of law of attraction wise, you know, you formed a rocket of desire. It's like just by having that thought, you've started something, you know. And quite often once you've had that thought, it doesn't just stop, you know, another thought will come to it. They grow and grow. So you're putting off the inevitable, I think, once you've had that idea. If you're trying to just push it down and go like, nah, it wouldn't work, I can't do that, I'm not clever enough.
You open a door, don't you? You open a door.
Yeah, you do, exactly, just by having that thought, you know, and thinking, oh, could I, you know. And I think my clients that have come to me who have had that thought, you know, it's like, oh, I just want to have a chat with you because I'm just wondering, you know. It's like the girl this morning I spoke to, she was like, I'm not really sure, but I just keep thinking about it, and I know she's going to work with me. You know, she didn't sign up, she's got like a holiday coming up and stuff, but I know she will because I could just tell it in her voice. I think once, as I said, once you've had that thought and you've gone and then you've taken the action to actually talk to somebody about it, that's more thoughts joined to it. You know, it'll get bigger and bigger. It won't go away. So I think just start doing it, because one of the things that I do is to help people set up whilst they're still in their 9 to 5. So it doesn't have to be a big scary decision. It's not, because I did it the wrong way around really. So it's kind of, I'm helping people learn from my mistakes. I was just like, right, I'm leaving, and then I set up. Where did you? It's scary, isn't it?
It's so scary because you're like, oh my God, I haven't got a client.
yeah, I know.
And you experience 0 income months.
Yes.
Because while you're building up your business, obviously, and you're finding those first few clients, you might have a month or 2 without any money coming in, and that is scary.
Yeah, when you've got so used to a lifestyle of a regular income, and perhaps a good regular income, and you've still got your outgoings, they haven't changed. So yeah, it's scary. So I'd never recommend, if someone wants to do that, if they want to feel the fear and, you know, that's fine, go for it.
Live life on the edge.
Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend it. So what I do is help people to set up, you know, by making it so that they don't feel overwhelmed or overworked is kind of my thing. You know, I'll help them set up alongside their 9 to 5, because there's so many time management techniques that you can utilize. And if you're coaching people, not everyone wants to do it within a space of 9 to 5 anyway. Some people want to have coaching in the evenings, so you could do it in the evenings, or you could do it in lunch hours. You know, it's just it's just time management really, and just being really aware of your time. Like if you're going to be like utilizing social media, you don't have to spend all day doing it. You can batch create. You could even find like a student or an intern who wanted to practice. You know, you could get free, or you could coach them in return. You know, there's all sorts of different ways you can.
So many tools out there, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Amazing. And is there anything you would do differently now? If you know, looking back, hindsight, such an amazing thing. Is there anything you would do differently from when you first started out in business?
Oh, probably not, because I've learned so much along the way. I think there are things I could like not impulsively leaving my job. You know, that would have been much more sensible. I would have had some, you know, that would have been sensible, but that's not me. I am impulsive, and I do just take action and I make stuff happen. I'm very, you know, I'm a doer. I get results. That's kind of what I do. So, but yeah, it would have been a bit of a more pleasant ride, I think, if I hadn't been so impulsive. If I had taken it a bit of a more sensible approach, which is building it up alongside my 9 to 5, and then getting to the point where I could see the results, and then being like, okay, I'm going to hand my notice in now. So yeah, that would have been the only thing I would have changed, just because it would have been a little less stressful, and I wouldn't have felt the pressure. You know, I think because that's very difficult. If you get into the pressure, like, right, I've got to start signing clients because I'm going to run out of money, then you get this real sort of like this lack mentality, this sort of desperation, and then that shows through your conversations with people
and everything.
It does. So that's been difficult, actually, you know, to not be desperate for the sale, because the minute you back off, like I never obviously never any hard sell at all. Like the girl this morning I was talking to, we were just chatting about it. I said, look, I'll just leave it with you, you know, because I know, as I said, I can tell that she's just the kind of person that she's had this idea and it's not going to go away. She'll come back, but I would never, you know, I won't be chasing her or hounding her. I mean, we've got some common ground. We made friends. We've got each other's Instagram handles, so we'll exchange some, friendly messages. But I certainly won't be actively like selling to her. It's not the way to do it, I don't think, to get these sort of organic, sort of natural relationships in. It's really, because I wouldn't want anyone to work with me because they felt obliged to, or if they
Well, they
weren't.
were forced to.
Yeah,
They had
yeah,
no other choice.
exactly.
Yeah,
So because
100%.
you don't want somebody. I wouldn't want anyone asking for a refund because they weren't really sure, and I'd push them into it, and they'd paid this money and then thought, oh, I'm not really sure if that's what, it's just not the way to do it. I just want somebody to come to me because they see the value, and they want to make that change, and they want my assistance with helping them. So that's what I'm all about.
Love it. I love it. And I love those real values. And I think they do show through. I think the real genuine values that you have actually show through in everything that you do. Now, a bit of a fun question for you, Helen. If you weren't doing what you're doing right now, so if you didn't have this business, what do you think you would be doing?
Ooh, I think, I mean, if I didn't have this business, I would definitely still have side hustles. I love doing stuff. I have so many business ideas. I've always got that sort of entrepreneurial idea. So it could,
Yeah.
it could be any number of things, but I think it would be something involving people. I like the sort of community aspect, sort of getting people together, like the live stuff. I think with so many people we found in the pandemic, which seems like a million years ago sometimes, but in some ways it feels like yesterday, that not being able to interact with people. I think so many people are much more into that now. They want to get out and do things. So I would definitely be doing something with people, bringing people together, and helping people in some way, but helping them to interact and to meet, to mingle and meet more. So definitely something sort of community led.
Oh, I love it. And on the note of your side hustles, what have some of those been? I'd really love to know.
Oh wow! So I was trying to think of some of the better ones. So I bought a load. So I suppose mainly e-commerce stuff. Like in the pandemic, I bought a load of swimming pools to sell.
Because we had a really hot summer then, didn't we? It was really hot. Sod's law, right? We can't go anywhere, but it's really hot.
Yeah, I know. So there were like these it's called sort of like inflatable pools, and like full-size pools. So I bought a load of those from a supplier and sold them.
Amazing.
Which
Did
is
you
quite,
sell them all?
yeah, really easily.
Amazing.
Yeah, really easily. And then I wish I'd bought more, but they'd kind of gone out of stock by then. So and I bought
Other people probably caught on to the idea.
yeah, I know, that's it. That's the thing, isn't it? There's always, you kind of have a good idea and you have to really act on it fast, because other people do it. Other people have the same good idea. So so kind of just like buying and selling stuff. I'm quite creative, as I said. So I love taking a product and like I've always done personalized stuff. I love personalizing for people.
Nice.
I mean, there's not really any money in it because it's so time consuming to do. It's really fiddly.
You've got to love it, isn't it? You've got to love it.
You have got to love it, definitely. So I've always done that as a kind of side thing, selling bits on Etsy, things like that. So nothing huge, and nothing that was ever going to make me a millionaire, but just bits and pieces. I just think if you try enough things, I've written a book as well. I wrote a children's book.
That's a big one. Oh wow, what's your children's book called?
It's called it was around unicorns. It was My Unicorn Family A to Z. It was.
I love it.
It was
Is
really
that still on
random.
Amazon? Can you get it on Amazon?
You can get it on Amazon. I mean, I don't know. It's like a self-published thing. So
Oh, I
yeah, I
love
don't
it.
know
I still love
what
that.
turnaround it is on it. But yeah, then I just think if you put these things out there, one day someone might find it and make a movie out of it. That's the attitude I have.
Exactly. They're going to be knocking on the door. And this is what you mentioned earlier as well. As soon as you make that one step or that one move, the energy of the universe shifts and things
It does.
actually start to happen, don't they?
Yeah, and I just think if I didn't do it, I mean, yeah, it hasn't. I don't know how many copies I've sold. Not a lot. I don't actively track it or do anything, but I know it's there on Amazon. But if I hadn't done it, and then I thought, oh, I had this idea for a book once, and I've never done anything with it. What's the point? What's the point of that? Just do it, And it was a good learning experience, learning how to self-publish on Amazon, which will probably come in handy one day when I write my my multi-million-dollar best book about
Exactly that. All
coaching.
that experience will help. And if you do get an influx of sales, it's probably because of a result of this conversation.
Exactly. I will know where to come and
Where it come
find praise
from.
to.
So our last question, Helen, it's been really, really amazing talking to you. But I want to know, if Helen Williams dominated the world with her business, what would the world look like?
Oh, it would be a happy, happy place. It would really be, because I'm so positive. I can put a spin on anything to find the positivity in it. I mean, I'm not I wouldn't like to say in an irritating way. I'm a realist as well, but I just think you have to reframe things. I will never ever get stuck in self-pity mode ever. I bring awareness to all of my emotions. So there's this emotional guidance scale, where it's like goes from joy, love and peace at the top down to like anger, hatred, things like that. And if you can learn to map out when you're feeling something, just sit with yourself for a minute and identify where you are on that scale, and just try and move it up a little notch at a time, rather than thinking, I feel depressed, how do I get up to joy? That's a big step for anybody to take, just like that. But you can move from depressed to, I mean, I can't remember what the next level up is, but there's another emotion up from that. You can just make, you could like these things you could do, like sing or dance or play with your dog. It moves you up a little bit. You might still feel a little bit depressed, but you'll feel a lot happier than you did before you did that. So it's just being aware of your emotions and kind of giving them a name, and like moving up. So I think spreading more things like that, where people can reframe their experiences and focusing on the parts of it that were actually good and happy, it just draws, like I said about that rocket of desire, if you're having a happy thought, it draws more happy thoughts and experiences to you.
It really does. And can you imagine the world if it was a happier place? It would be an absolutely changed place. It would be
It would.
amazing.
I mean, because you don't have to, I always say to people, I've got a small circle of friends, you don't have to like everybody. Not everybody is your person. That's one of the things, with coaching, there'll be some people that don't like you, or they don't like your voice or the look of you, or whatever. We're all attracted to different things about different people. And that's all fine.
It's all okay. It's all
okay.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, we don't have to like each other. Just, the people that you do like, give yourself fully to those people. And the ones you don't like, just be pleasant. But you don't have to
Send them good wishes and send them on their way.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. What a lovely, lovely thought. And what a lovely, lovely place to end the conversation with. So thank you so much, Helen. Honestly, it's been so lovely to learn about your entrepreneurial journey, which has gone on for a number of years. Really, really interesting to hear about the businesses that you've had, the side hustles as well, and all the challenges and the changes that you've experienced over that time as well, which has been incredible. Now, I know you've already shared your Instagram handles, but is there any other way that people can get hold of you if they want to take this conversation further, if they want to find out more, or obviously if you can help them as well?
Thank you. Yeah, so it's Instagram. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So everything is under the same name. It's Hey Helen Williams. So my website is heyhelenwilliams.co.uk. My Instagram and everything is under the same handle. So yeah, I love talking to people. As I said, I'm not salesy at all. I give away like way too much like help, because I just love the interaction of it. So it's not one of those where someone contacts me and that's it, I've got them then forever. It's like just happy to have conversations with people. So yeah, I would love to interact with anyone that feels they want to know more, or if I could help them, I'll be happy to help.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so for being so open and so honest as well during this conversation. It's been absolutely amazing. And thank you to everyone who's watched this episode, who's listened to us as well. Hope you found it really, really useful, and hopefully it's inspiring you to take a step, whatever that looks like, in your entrepreneurial journey as well. So until next time, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.